Imagine this. One day, you are alive, writing in your logbook, laughing with your fellow keepers, eating warm food by the fire. The next day, your presence is gone. No goodbye, no trace, only silence. 3 men vanished from a lighthouse far out on the Pacific coast. No footprints, no struggle, no final word. Just an empty tower staring over the endless ocean. The storm raged with a grief so heavy, it felt as if the sea itself wept for the lost souls, whispering their sorrow in trembling waves. Where laughter lived, now silence reigns. 3 souls are lost to the ocean's chains. No farewell spoken, no final call. The sea has swallowed them, one and all. Far out on the rocky Pacific coast stood a lighthouse, tall and proud, rising from jagged cliffs where waves pounded day and night. For sailors, its shining beam meant safety. Without it, ships could be crushed on unseen rocks, swallowed by the sea. For the men living inside, life was harsh. Isolation pressed on the mind. Storms shook the walls. And sometimes, a strange feeling that the sea was watching. Even the walls seemed to listen to the ocean's endless grief, carrying its sorrows in the hush between storms, speaking softly in verse. Stone walls whisper, winds repeat. A lighthouse stands where storms and ocean meet. Stone walls whisper, winds repeat. A lighthouse stands where storms and ocean meet. One winter night, everything changed. Passing ships noticed the light was gone. The lighthouse was dark. A ship's captain stared into the storm, waiting for the familiar guiding beam, but it never appeared. Rescuers climbed the rocky steps. Imagine the wind howling, waves smashing stone, knowing 3 men had vanished into the night. Would you dare open that door, not knowing what you might find? The wind moved through the empty rooms, as if carrying the memory of laughter and life now vanished, speaking softly in lines only poetry could hold. Chairs still waiting, plates untouched, a tower full, yet empty much. The wind carries the stories untold of 3 lost souls, brave and bold. Inside, the rooms look normal. Beds neatly made, lamps trimmed, tables set for dinner, but the food was untouched. Even more curious, the hooks where the men's heavy coats should have hung were empty. This meant the keepers had stepped into the storm together. But that broke the cardinal rule. One must always remain to keep the light burning. Why did they leave? What had pulled them into the darkness? The shadows of the tower stretched long, heavy with secrets, seeming to hum a quiet lament that demanded to be sung in verse. Tables set, yet hearts are gone. The light is lost, the night drags on. The storm has claimed what men could not, leaving silence where life once fought. Ask yourself, what could make 3 men abandon safety at the same time? Was it fear, madness, or something far stranger? Official reports suggested a giant wave struck the rocks. Perhaps one man fell and the others followed. But investigators found flaws. Waves could not easily reach the cliff door. And why would all 3 leave together instead of raising the alarm? The cliffs and waves seemed to question the night, their voices rising like verse, carrying the riddles of why the keepers walked into darkness. Why leave the light, the safety, the flame? What shadow called them? Who knows its name? The ocean holds its secrets tight and whispers answers lost tonight. For decades, sailors spoke of strange things along the coast. Shadows moving in the tower, voices carried on the wind. One passing ship claimed to see the lighthouse lit just for a moment, though it was officially empty. The families never accepted the official story. They believed something else happened, something no report dared to record. The wind over the rocks spoke with a haunted tone, murmuring the lost voices it had carried across decades, turning grief into verse. Footsteps follow, yet no one is there. Whispers linger in the salt-sweet air. A light that flickers, then fades away, haunting the night, hiding the day. Even today, the lighthouse stands, a lonely sentinel over the Pacific. Visitors feel uneasy climbing its narrow stairs, as if unseen eyes are watching. Some swear they hear footsteps following them in empty rooms. What truly happened to the three men? Was it the sea, madness, or something far stranger? The waves themselves seem to remember, murmuring the story of three lives taken too soon, giving it rhythm and rhyme. The sea remembers, though men forget. Their voices echo, their fate is set. No graves, no markers, no names remain, only the ocean and endless pain. But some say the sea remembers more than sorrow. On quiet nights when the waves breathe slow and the wind softens, the air seems to shimmer with something unseen, as if the lighthouse itself still waits for its keepers to return. The beam, long extinguished, sometimes glows faintly in the fog, a single pulse of light with no power to fuel it, as though the hands that once kept it burning have not yet moved on. Fishermen tell of hearing voices drifting over the surf, not screams, but the low murmur of men talking softly, as though keeping watch. One captain swore he saw three shadows moving along the railing at dawn, their shapes blurred by mist, turning toward the horizon. He called out, but the sea answered with silence. Years later, a group of divers exploring the nearby reefs found something strange beneath the waves. A fragment of the lighthouse's iron railing, twisted but clean, as if untouched by rust. Some swore they heard faint knocking through their headsets, like someone tapping from within the deep. When they surfaced, the sea was calm, too calm, as if it had just finished whispering a secret it wished they'd forget. On the mainland, an old logbook appeared at an antique store, no one knew from where. Its pages were dry, though the ink was blurred, and the last line read, "Light steady, winds rising, the sea calls again." The storekeeper swore the book sometimes smelled faintly of salt, and that the words shifted under lamplight, rearranging themselves like waves on sand. Perhaps the lighthouse was never meant to guard only the living. Perhaps it guards the memory of duty itself, a promise kept beyond death, a flame that refuses to fade. And if you stand there long enough, you might feel the same pull that took the three, not of fear, but of belonging, to the endless waiting sea. Back on the mainland, their families waited for news that never came. Wives lit candles every night by the window, hoping to see the beam return across the dark sea. Children grew up hearing the waves and asking if their fathers were still out there, keeping the light for heaven instead. And even now, some descendants say they still dream of that tower, the sound of boots on stone steps, the glow of a lantern through the mist, as if love itself refuses to believe in their disappearance. The story of the vanished lighthouse keepers reminds us, no matter how much we think we control nature, in the end, it is nature that controls us. The sea gives life and takes it away without warning, and sometimes it keeps its secrets forever. The storm's sigh carried wisdom in its cadence, a poetic reminder that the ocean's power shapes all who live near it. Even today, the waves still mourn, and whispers of the lost are born. The light may fade, but stories remain of three brave souls claimed by the rain. If this tale of wonder and mystery stirred something within you, dear viewers, then don't let the magic end here. Like this story if you felt its echo. Share it with those who still believe in the extraordinary, and subscribe to join us again as we journey through the hidden corners of the world, where science fades, faith awakens, and every shadow whispers a story. Welcome always to Beyond the Ordinary.